Do you know Eskimos identify snow as more than 10 different varieties, and each snowfall they have a different strategy to tackle the snowfall and protect themselves for it. In the same way, demotivation, though it looks like one particular topic to address to and one particular challenge to address you, has lots of factors that lead you to demotivation, fear being one of the most important factor, and each factor leading to a demotivation needs to be tackled in a different way. So I'll be doing a two-part video series in which I'll talk about 5 topics in today's video, how to tackle your demotivation, and the next 5 topics in the next video. So we'll go ahead and start with the topics. So the number one factor that will lead you to demotivation is that it's the fear of not being able to perform. That is number one factor. So fear is something which is very imaginative. Fear is something which is not based on the actual assessment of the situation. Fear will slow you down. Fear will uh, not help you move forward in the goal. No matter how much passionate you are about your goal, once the fear sets in, you'll not be able to move forward. So what you have to do when you have fear in your mind? Number one, treat fear as your friend, because fear is something which is there only to caution you. It is like a speed breaker in your journey. Imagine there's a smooth road and there are no speed breakers, and you're just zooming past 100, 110, 120, and there's no control on the speed. What will it lead to? Without fear, your journey towards your goal is also similar to that. So fear is something which is a speed breaker, and treat it as your friend rather than your enemy. And when fear is what you're facing, identify what are all the factors that trigger the fear in your mind and list them down. Many a times the fear comes out of not being well prepared with your information towards your goal. If that is the case, you know very well that the research is what is lacking, and go ahead and complete your research. And many times you don't have the confidence to go ahead. When it is the when the fear is because of the lack of confidence, you need to do a lot of practice. That is the only way you can overcome the lack of confidence. So in that way, whenever you're facing the fear, list down what are the triggering factors leading to the fear. And once you have listed down, understand what are all the imaginary fears and what are all the actual fears that you should be tackling. If they're imaginary fears, raise them, say them, thank you so much, yes, I do understand this, but then I have the mindset to overcome these imaginary fears. And if they are based on the actual assessment and you need to prepare yourself more, then you know the answer, you have to prepare and then go ahead with your goals. So that's how you tackle your fears. The second factor leading to demotivation is setting up of wrong goals. Today we have access to the social media, and we have the internet, and we can reach and see anyone how they're doing it. Like, it's easy to follow someone, and when we see others performing, we get carried away, and subconsciously we start comparing to them, and then we think, if they can, why can't we? And then we set up the goals. But there are two different kinds of you that are present in your body or in your state of mind. One is the essential self, and the other one is the social self. The essential self is what you are actually, what makes you up. Like your thumb impression, every one of us are very unique in our own personality, and we have certain things embedded into us which will make us what we are. And the social self is something which we accumulate from the time we are born, by seeing people and how they are performing and how we have to perform in the social community. So these are the acquired things. So when you're setting goals based upon your essential self, which is more natural to you, then you're more likely to achieve those goals. And when you're setting your goals based on your social self, you're more likely to get demotivated, because probably you don't have the required skill sets or the persona to achieve those goals. So how do you identify if the goals which you have set in are truly validated for you or not? Is when you think of the goals, observe your body language. Do you get a smile? Do you kind of get lost in time when you're thinking of those goals? Or do you get into the fearful mode, or do you get into the anxious mode when you're thinking of those goals? Are you feeling confident, and do you naturally visualize yourself reaching to your goal, or do you forcefully visualize yourself reaching that particular goal? So these are few of the tactics to identify whether the goals are based on your essential self or your social self. So understand your goals and plan your goals wisely. This is what I want to share with you as a second point. Point number 3 in feeling demotivated is lack of clarity. You might be having wonderful goals in your life, but you don't know how to reach there. You have not done enough of research as to how to reach there. You don't have the required skill sets to reach there. You don't have the required team to reach to your goal, and you just don't know how to reach to your particular goal. Then there arises lack of clarity. Initially, yes, it will be looking very encouraging for you, the adventure of reaching to a unknown place, but the more unknown the journey is, the more demotivation you will be getting. So to tackle this, what you need to do is, you don't have to plan everything from point A to point B, but from point A to point B, cut it down into small destinations, and try to reach from point A1 to A2 to A3 to A4. In that way, you slowly reach to point B. So at least you are planned well from A1 to A2. So you know that you have achieved 10% of your 100% journey. So in that way, try to build in the clarity towards your destination. That is point number 3 for you. Next point that will demotivate you is conflict of your values. Often it so happens that when we want to become someone, or when we want to achieve something, as mentioned earlier, we get carried away by seeing or observing what people do, and then we feel that okay, we can also do the same thing. But then while reaching from yourself to your final destination, you might have to go through a lot of changes in the value system which is embedded within you. You may not be that kind of persona. If I were to give you an example, this has happened with me personally. No, I had a dream of achieving something very big in a retail industry in the fashion world. And I set up the required things, and I did a lot of research, and I had good clarity of where I need to go in, how do I reach there, what all things I need to do, and I have all the resources, all the raw materials and everything. And I have set up one of the beautiful place where people can come and buy the things. And once it is set up, and then I started sitting there, day 1 it was fine, day 2 it was fine, day 3 it was fine, and then I realized I'm not a salesperson sitting and doing the retailing. For me, my persona is not a retail sales persona type. So because of which every day getting up and going to my studio was a bit difficult and demotivating for me. So I had to bring in another person who can sit there in my position and do the retail sales for me. So this is a conflict of embedded values or persona that I have in. So identify if there could be these kind of conflict in your values or persona, could be the possible triggers for demotivation. The next point is lack of the decision making ability. What happens is, in the center of our brain we have this decision making center, it is called, and generally when you're depressed or when you're feeling sad or when you're having your mood swings, your decision making ability reduces. And when you're going through such phase wherein your decision making ability is reduced, you will not be able to take any decisions. And when you're not able to take the decisions, your demotivation level sets in. So you need to keep your mind energized and boosted and happy. The sadness or the anger, frustrations, conflicts, all these things lead to lack of decision making ability. So I often keep coming back in my videos that charging yourself just like you charge your mobile phone is very much essential. Charge yourself with positive environment, positive people, with happiness quotient, with positive affirmations, and try to keep yourself as much happy as you can. Don't let the unwanted toxic things affect you and reduce your happiness, thereby reduce your decision making ability. The more you keep up with your mindset, the more you'll be able to achieve. That's point number 5 for you. So with this we end our first part of how to tackle demotivation, and in the next video we'll see the remaining 5 points on how to tackle demotivation. If you like what I have been talking, please do like my video, share and subscribe to my channel. And if you feel that there are certain things which you do not agree to, or you are having some conflict in your mind, or you want more on this, do write into me or comment in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to address all of them. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.